Hello, physics. The question is the spherical masses 1, 2, 3 lie on a straight line. Sphere 1 with initial velocity v1 hits 2 and acquire the initial velocity v2, velocity and hits v3 and particle 3. Both collisions are elastic. Then what must be the mass of m2 so that the sphere 3 acquires the maximum velocity? So we have to find mass of the two, m2. M2 we have to find. M1, M2, M3. This is the initial velocity of V1. This is the final velocity, and this is the final velocity of 3, and this is 2. So uh, velocity of V3 should be maximum. That is our goal. So what we have to find that the M2, what should be the mass M2 so that the velocity of M3 is maximum. So U should be maximum. So if you use the conservation of kinetic energy and conservation of linear momentum, then for the two particle system, so that U2, the final velocity of second particle, is a difference divided by sum into initial of second plus double of the first one, m1, m2, into initial of the first one. If V2 is 0, this is stationary, is a 0 initially, so then it will be equal to U2 will be final velocity of second particle will be 2m1, m1 plus m1 into v1. V1 is the final velocity of first one. So m2 and u2, second particle is the final velocity and hits the m3. So m3 will be similar pattern. It will be m3 from this one. So that will be equal to 2m2, m2 plus m3 into u2. U2 is this question 1 if you substitute this one. So u3, which is the final velocity of the second particle, which will be 4m1, m2 into multiplied by these two. So this is m2 is variable. So m2 is a variable. So we have to differentiate this equation with this is m2 variable, m2 is a variable. So we have to differentiate du by m3. So what should be m2 so that the u3 should be maximum? So these are the two terms. So multiply. So multiply, and this is the multiplication. So that means that is uh, uh, this into this. This will be, you will use the differential of like this one. So this one we will use like this one. So d by d m3. So 4 this one 4 m1 to m2 also 4 m1 m2 into v1 into the this one. If we just write down this one minus, oh no, first derivative of this one, which is a 4m1, derivative of the top one, 4m1 v1 multiplied by the second one, which is we multiply just this one, minus the first one. First one is this one, 4m1 m2 v1 into derivative of this one. Derivative of this one is m1. Derivative of this one 0. This one is a 2m2. This one is m3. Multiply by square. And now we will multiply this one. If we multiply, this is a 4m1 m1 square, m1 squared, and m2. So this one, so this first this one multiply, and then they multiply by this one. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. And then again, there will be 3 terms. So this one, 1, 2, and the 3 terms. So now you see that this 4, this is cancelled. This blue is cancelled by, this will be 4 will be here. 4 will be negative. and then green and green cancel. So this will be blue -4, and then uh, green uh, is yes, this remains here, and from this blue and this one is -4, and green is cancelled by green. So this will be equal to 4, this one and this one, and then 4m1 v1 is common, then m1 m3 minus m2 square multiplied by these two. So then this is equal to 0. That means this denominator m1 m3 into m2 minus m2 square is equal to 0. m2 square m2 square is equal to m1 m3, m2 is equal to m1. This is the product and equals to square root. So there are three cases. M1 is greater than M3, M1 is equal, M1 is greater than this one. If it is M1 is very larger than this one, if you substitute the velocity in V3, which is this one, equation 2, if we substitute this value, and this will be equal to V3 is equal to we can ignore m2, ignores this one, so that is equal to 4 times, so that m1 is larger than this one, so v3 is equal to 4 times of the v1. So m1 m2 uh, will be m1 m2 will be 2v, and m2 m3 will be 2 into 2, which is a 4v. For more masses, more speed. So the M1 is equal to M3. So this is equal to M1, M2 is equal to this. M1 is equal to M2 is equal to M3. So U2, the final velocity M3 is equal to V1. So this is another very impressive answer. M1 is less than M3. So that will mean M1 is less than M3. M1 is less than M2. M1 is less than M2. M1 is less than M3. So that means M2 is greater than M1. So this one, M1, M2, M3. So M1 is ignorable. So U3 will be equal to this expression. So M1 is ignorable. So that will be M2, M3. So M2 from here, M2, M3, M2, M2 cancel. So then M1 and M2, M3. Then M2 is ignorable. So M3. So that will be equal to 4 M1 M3 over V1. So if it is M1 M3, if M1 is equal to double, so that is 8. So M3 is equal to 2. So no 2 2 2 and M1. So M1 cancels is a double. So that will be equal to V1 is equal to double of the previous one. So the double speed without even M2. So that is the other answer. This is a very tricky question, so it has to be done, and then you will be able to do. You have to solve it, and then you will be able to uh, know it very clearly. If M1 M3, M1 is V1, M3 will be double of V1.